So I have this friend, right? Hi, Natalie, by the way, who is Jewish, and she sent me some cool stuff about her religion that I think is super cool, and I want to share it for you guys. From what I understand and what Natalie has explained to me, the Jewish community is tight-knit, and conservation, like them to convert you to their religion, is not on their to-do list, but they do like to talk to people about it. With this in mind, I would ask everyone to please be considerate that this is a video about a religion and people that I am not a part of, but that the people who are a part of it might see this. So I will ask you to please be respectful. Today's episode is brought to you by Natalie. Let's go! First of all, the Golem. Perhaps the most well-known example of this phenomenon, as transmuted by a variety of European sources, is that of the Golem. The Talmud, which I probably said wrong, and I'm going to apologize, I'm going to say a lot of these words wrong, relates to a tale of rabbis who grew hungry while on a journey, so they created a calf out of the earth and ate it for dinner. The Kabbalists determined that the rabbis did this magical act by means of performing blah blah blah. I can talk, I promise. By means of permutating language, primarily utilizing the formulas set forth in the Seraph Yetzirah, or the Book of Creation. Just as God speaks and creates in the Genesis story, so too can the mystics. The word abracadabra, incidentally, derives from avara cadabra. J.K. Rowling, did you base the killing curse off of this? I just realized this, reading my own script. What? Alright, put a pin in that. Mental note to me, I will be doing a video on why Harry Potter is just, we gotta kill that off, man. We gotta make a better series. Anyway, Aramaic for I create as I speak. That's literally the translation for abracadabra. Thus, under the rarest of circumstances, a human being may imbue lifeless matter with that intangible but essential spark of life, the souls. Tangent on this, actually, for souls. I have a feeling this is less talking about the actual soul that human beings have and more of we create things all the time without meaning to. Characters written into books and then translated into TV shows. These are technicality, right? On a technicality, these are golems because they're not really real people. They're imaginary, but we breathed so much life into them based on how we explained them that they became real. Like, that's how I'm kind of taking this. Anyway, back to what I was saying. The Kabbalists saw the creation of a golem as a kind of alchemical task, the accomplishment of which proved the adept's skill and knowledge of Kabbalah. In popular legend, however, the golem became a kind of folk hero. Tales of mystical rabbis creating life from dust abounded, particularly in the early modern period, and inspired such tales as Frankenstein and the Sorcerer's Apprentice. Sometimes the golem saves the Jewish community from persecution or death, enacting the kind of heroism or revenge unavailable to powerless Jews. Often, however, Jewish folk tales about the golem tell what happens when things go awry, when the power of life force goes astray, often with tragic results. The classic narrative of the golem tells how Rabbi Judah Loew of Prague, known as the Mahariel, 1525 to 1609, created a golem to defend the Jewish community from anti-Semitic attacks, but eventually the golem grows fearsome and violent, and Rabbi Loew is forced to destroy it. Legend tells that the golem remains in the attic of the Althinashul in Prague, ready to be reactivated if needed. This legend reappeared recently in Michael Cabon's The Amazing Adventures of Cavalier and Clay. Likewise in Paul Wengener's expressionist film The Golem in 1920. The golem is a brutish creature whose powers are all too easily turned to destructive ends. This is, of course, a perfect encapsulation of the same anxiety that underlies so much of the mystical speculation about demons, diebuks, ghosts, and golems. The power of life is so strong that it brings both promise and terror. So the TLDR of this, right in my own way of understanding, is that the golem is not so much a monster from Jewish folklore, but a monster born to protect the Jewish community from harm, because what better way to fight monsters than with a monster created for one sole purpose? that is very powerful, and with all the horrible things that have ever happened to the Jewish people as a whole, it makes sense that this monster is not a monster to them, and if people want to stick it in their own stories, then they should be mindful that golems do not attack just for the lulz, right? There's a reason for it. It's created with a purpose. So if you ever come across one and it's attacking you, chances are you messed up. You messed up so bad that your only recourse might be to find whoever made the golem and start apologizing, because guess what? You messed up. Moving on now to things I know I will say super wrong, and I'm going to apologize in advance for that. The diebuck? Or diebuck? Ideally, it returns to its source, but sometimes the process goes wrong. In such cases, a variety of ills may befall the soul. The most well-known of these is the phenomenon of the diebuck, or possession, when one soul sticks onto another. Possession by a diebuck can happen for a number of reasons. Perhaps the departed soul is sinister and the living person innocent, or, controversially, the departed soul may have been saintly, but wronged by the living in this case. Possession by a diebuck is essentially punishment, or revenge, for an improper act, or apparently possession may happen almost at random. The most popular diebuck in Jewish culture history is that of Anashki. Again, I'm sorry so badly for these horrible names. His well-known play, The Diebuck, in 1920, which describes how the soul of a betrayed man comes back to haunt the body of his betrothed. Real quick, this sounds like the setup of a cool horror movie for no other reason than Ghost, which is what I think this is, but again, I might be wrong, are very much unsettling for living people, because what do you even do for a ghost? They are dead, and if they have been dead for too long, then you trying to help them means nothing, because any way to help them might be gone in the modern era. This thing, the diebuck, I hope I am saying that right, would be so cool to see in a respectful way in like a movie, because there's a lot going on, because possession means no, it's following you. You did something. Another part of the Jewish folklore, thank you again Natalie, is the Ibur, I-W-B-U-R. If anybody wants to correct me on that, please do, because I know I'm saying all of these wrong. There are other possession possibilities as well with this. A soul may visit a person during sleep. There are other possible possessions. A soul may visit a person during sleep, bringing messages from beyond or prophecies about the future. Or it may haunt a place, as in popular ghost stories. Sometimes the soul of a departed righteous person may... Wow, did I really... I copy-pasted this, so... Sometimes the soul of a departed righteous person may impregnate the soul of a living person. The process described by Luranic Kabbalah as Iberluk thru. I'm probably wrong again. Unlike the diebuck, Ibur is usually positive, not negative. Sometimes a righteous soul undergoes Ibur so it can complete a task or perform a mitzvah. Sometimes it does so for the benefit of the host's soul. Really, Ibur is no different from possession by a diebuck, but particularly speaking, they are polar opposites, as the former is benign and the other sinister. In all of these cases, the ordinary process of life energy are being diverted for either positive or negative reasons, and life energy, above all, is powerful. When put to proper ends, the transmission of life energy by means of sex or supernatural activity is the godly act of maintaining the cosmic flow. But anything that powerful can also create great evil. I'm not gonna lie, listening to this and the impregnation thing, right? And I'm just gonna skip over that because that's a whole can of worms I don't wanna open. This sounds kind of more or less like sleep paralysis demons. No joke, I get them sometimes, and I have gotten to the point where they no longer scare me, but they do make me upset because, hey guys, go bother anyone else while I try to get my body back up and running. Now I say that, but I know I might be super wrong about it. Anyway, that was fun Jewish folklore stuff brought to you again by the immaculate Natalie. And I'll put a link that they sent me as the topic in the description, because I think you guys might just want to go and peruse and read this without my annoying voice in the background. And I'll also put their Twitter down below if you want to go say hi and thank them for letting me ramble. Also, a quick shout out to all of my wonderful subscribers, my editor, as always, and I hope you guys have the most amazing rest of your guys' day. Bye-bye!